Dear Abby Normals,
welcome to Deeply Disturbing Things,
the podcast.
I'm Macy.
And I'm Naomi.
And we're two anxious counselors who like to talk about deeply disturbing things.
And Sarah ditched us, so it's just us. More wine. Cheers to that.
Ooh, that was like
that was more than a tink. That was a dink.
These are some thick teacups.
Yeah, we're drinking wine out of teacups.
Because we're classy AF.
Yes. I get to go first. And
And if you miss our general odd chitter chatter from a ways back that we used to do here before the podcast, guess what? We still do it. We just do it for the people that pay us to do it.
$1 on Patreon.
That's it, $1. If you want to see the goofiness, the whatever. If you want to learn something, that
special field trips are on there, special outings, lots of shenanigans. We filmed our snowshoeing trip on there.
Right.
Lots of things. All right, here I go. My battery is...
Do you have a USB-C?
40% remaining.
Is it USB-C?
It is.
Oh, good. I didn't bring mine either, so never mind. I thought it was going to be helpful, and then I remembered.
Why are you offering hope and then ripping it away?
Because I forgot.
So I'm going to maybe turn my dimness
Turn your dimness up. That's wrong.
To save.
Turn your dim... That is... You mean... Turn your brightness up? Your dimness up? I don't understand.
Brightness down, dimness up.
Dimness? I can't. Never mind. Go ahead.
You know, we live in Spokane, Washington.
I don't like to disclose that, but yes, we do.
And there is a lot of disturbing stuff right here in our town. Often we share topics from afar. But there's a lot right here.
People still talk about that haunted bookstore, and I'm like, I've been there. And they were like, what did you feel? I'm like,
I felt like their queso was good.
They had queso?
Didn't we eat queso?
Oh, I was talking about the books, not the bookstore, sorry. The thrift store, remember? That they said that they had haunted happenings and there was
I found nothing there.
No, but the other place was cool. We should go back there.
Yeah, the old library. They did have good queso.
They did have great queso, but we needed more chips for the queso. I'm sorry, but if you give me more queso than I can eat with the 4 chips, like remember they put them like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 chips.
We mowed them down and then had to ask for more.
We were adventuring that day.
Like Oliver.
Need chips. Okay. Sorry.
And just a match. So I'm going to talk about some disturbing Spokane history. The Manito Park Zoo. Bet you didn't know we had a fancy zoo at Manito Park. Look at that picture. Describe what you see.
Swans and geese and an enclosure and fancy people in hats and a brick stony building.
That looks kind of castle-like. That was the aviary. Yeah, we had a really fancy.
Manito Park is a very fancy garden estate.
We have a fancy park up there, which is
Pinky Out Park,
not far from where we are. The zoo was part of Manito Park from 1905 to 1932.
What?
I know.
I want a zoo.
At one time, the zoo had crow, owl, elk, deer, buffalo, coyotes, monkeys.
There's not enough room up there for that.
Emu, ostrich, pheasant, fox, raccoon, bobcat, cougar, pigeons, of all things, a golden eagle, and brown, black, polar, and grizzly bears.
The heck are they putting those? I lived on the South Hill in Manito Park. Like, it's big for what it is, but for all like habitat, maybe that's why it got shut down. I don't know. Do tell.
The bears were the most popular attraction.
Because they're bearable.
Bearable. Our city used to have trolley cars.
Oh, like
so it would transport people from downtown up the hill to take in the sights. A large ivy covered archway that read "See Spokane Shine" used to welcome the visitors. So Spokane, didn't give up the idea of having a zoo after this.
Why did it shut down?
I'll get into
it.
that.
Oh, okay.
They tried in the late 60s to build a zoo right down here below Browns Mission in Highbridge Park.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
That's really not enough room.
They had all these plans collected from several designers, but in the end, it was deemed impractical. And when I first moved here, there was Walk in the Wild Zoo out in the valley where now it's Marabou Park.
Right.
That was here from 1974 to 1995. When I visited that zoo, my first thought was, this is the worst zoo I have ever seen in my entire life. I felt so sorry for the animals.
Yeah, I never saw it. I don't know what it looked like.
I mean, it seemed like they had just put up fences and just trapped animals that happened to be there.
Mm-hmm.
And then brought in some animals that shouldn't be here.
That's sad.
And that was part of why Walk in the Wild closed down, because in the winter it was just got too cold for some of the animals, and it just cost too much money to maintain them.
Cattails up north.
Yeah, it's called a zoo, but it's
a zoological. It's like rescue. It's a rescue, but the money they use goes back into the park to help rescue tigers and stuff. But I don't know. The conditions still there don't make me happy either.
They don't make me happy.
I get it's about money, but like they're in like chain link fences next to a train track.
Yeah, it's
right next to the freeway. Like, that's not
talked about like zoos before. Like, some people are just black and white thinking about it, like straight up against them. Me, I'm like, if you are caring for an animal in a humane way that
like maybe stray cats I take in
couldn't live out in the wild, maybe it's injured or there's something, like, that's great. You're also raising awareness for appreciation of nature. Like, so it's not all bad. I think we have to take a measured view of it.
And I do think they help train people in that field. They take on scholarships and stuff to help train people, and they send animals off to better places too, not death.
There were incidents at the Manito Zoo. Would you like to hear about some of the incidents?
I love incidents.
From an article in the Spokane Falls Gazette, whose byline is "All the News That's Fit to Print," the headline is "Bear Grips Boy at Manito Park. Grips. Seized when feeding animals. Bitten on hand, arm."
We have a connection.
Do we?
We do.
So
gripping.
The style of like old journalism is very appealing to me.
I know. I like reading old journalism stuff too.
They use a lot of alliteration. Yeah. It's enjoyable. When feeding the bears at Manito Park yesterday afternoon, Gerald Harmon, a nine-year-old, had his left arm grasped by one of the bears, and he was partially pulled through the bars of the cage.
No, why are they using such light language? Grasped.
Gripped. Grasped.
He was dragged the fuck in.
Why? I mean, we have so many questions here. Why are the bars so wide? Why are kids allowed to reach in and feed the bears?
I know, because right now, like there's like a 2-tier, like this fence and this fence.
And a moat, usually.
Well,
like at a big zoo.
Oh, at a big one.
Yeah, like there's going to be a moat that if you tried to jump over, like you'd be in that moat. The boy was severely bitten on the left hand and elbow.
When I was doing summer camp with the kids, and we took them to the cattails, one of the kids ran back and forth with our.
You're not supposed to run back and forth
with the snack roller our cooler that looked like the cooler that they kept the meat in, and had the tigers running.
He's looking real yummy at that point, like a snack.
No, and I had to go take the cooler out, and he had to like have time outside of the park because they were like, these tigers will jump out of here.
They tell you do not run back and forth
with the meat cooler,
especially with the meat cooler.
I'd be so disappointed. They'd open it and they'd be like fruit snacks, and then they'd eat the boy.
They do let people feed up there.
They do, yeah. But
I'm rethinking the decision making around that right now.
Yeah.
The boy was severely bitten on the left hand and elbow. I said that. A stranger who came along took him home.
A stranger took the boy home?
This is the old days.
Strangers can just do that.
Would just be feeding bears. Strangers could just take them home. This was pre like serial killers.
No, well, obviously the parents had no idea where this child was.
I mean, not pre serial killers, but pre like the fear of
pre-knowing,
pre-caring
where your child went.
Pre like it could happen to me. You know, it's more like, oh, that's something that would happen to other people, not in Spokane.
Back then, they knew like, I don't want your child. They cost money and they smell.
It is a wonder the boy's whole elbow is not crushed, said Dr. Berger last night.
Berger.
The boy bore the pain well and is resting quietly.
Because he's unconscious. Blood loss, maybe.
It is as yet too early to speak positively as to this.
See, like they make
I love that
positive, though.
I know, I love that. Okay, so that's one incident.
Okay.
There were other incidents that I wasn't going to cover, but I'll just briefly mention. Apparently, the elk were very prolific in their
What does prolific mean?
Reproduction. There were some horny elks.
Oh, okay.
In the zoo.
Okay.
So I only covered things where I could find the actual original like newspaper clippings. So that's what these are I'm looking at.
So there's some horny elks.
So listen to this headline.
Okay.
Murderous monkey drowns 2 baby coyotes in Manito Zoo.
Oh.
Now listen to this opening thing. I'm like, this journalist got it going on. Owing to the murderous temperament of a monkey in the menagerie at Manito Park, the animal kingdom of the park zoo has been reduced 2 in numbers.
Holy cow.
Do you hear the alliteration in there?
I love it. I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a run-on sentence, but I'm okay with it. Yeah.
So you want to hear what happened?
Yeah.
5 little coyotes were lying in the sun near the monkey's cage when the latter reached through the bars and drew one of them into its quarters.
It's so horrible.
And quickly threw it into a pool of water. So it's grabbing a baby coyote. So it's reaching through the bars, grabbing a baby coyote,
babies,
and throwing it into a pool of water. A second followed in quick succession. After repeating the act of throwing the baby coyotes into the water and watching them swim out several times, the monkeys then held each in turn under the water until it drowned.
That's horrible.
I think the monkeys need more activities in their enclosure. I mean, this speaks to me of boredom.
Right.
This is like me in high school.
Maybe this is solving some bigger life problems. If you're too bored, you may drown something.
Shenanigans ensue and they may turn deadly.
You needed a top off there.
The monkey was in the act of destroying the whole coyote family by the same method when the cries of women who had seen the 2 animals meet their fate attracted one of the park attendants. He pinned the monkeys in a cage out of reach of the little coyotes.
That's so sad.
So murderous monkeys drowned 2 baby coyotes in the Manito Zoo. I feel like lack of supervision also comes into play.
Right. Well, and they should like do research about how far a monkey can reach.
The long arm of the monkey.
The basics. I don't know. Like, is it my length or is it your length? Because maybe I can't reach the coyote, but maybe you can.
And this is like a problem with, I think, not having enough space because you're going to be having like monkey enclosures right next to baby coyote enclosures.
I mean, is it really that hard to put an aisle away? Like,
I think baby coyotes are really cute too. I've never seen one in real life.
I'm picturing
I bet they're adorbs.
horrifying all of it.
I'm thinking of your neonates topic. You know, they probably had the big
Oh,
eyes and the
yeah.
high forehead. Yeah,
That was me
real.
imitating a cute thing, which it didn't translate
You don't
at
think it
all.
translated?
I pictured it though.
In 1923, this Manito Zoo polar bear bit off the arm of a little girl. Look at that polar bear.
He looks hungry.
So what's really interesting is I found two almost identical articles put out in Spokane. One included details about this and the polar bear photo. The other, published in our local paper, had that left out. I compared them side by side.
Our local papers have a strong history of leaving some shit out.
It was just very interesting because it was clearly the same author. And
there was just an edited version.
Yeah, there was like the public facing version and like this other version.
That probably went externally for that. They didn't care about bad publicity of other people. Because back then, you know, there was no internet. So
I went to the good version.
The juicy version.
I don't like my info edited. Let me decide. On July 11th, 1923, 9-year-old Elizabeth Harris was visiting the Manito Zoo with her nanny. She put her hand, again, this is allowed apparently, full of bread into the polar bear enclosure.
What? This should not be allowed.
It was like an activity. Like, let's go to Manito Zoo and feed the bears. They're very popular.
Like feeding the ducks.
Yeah, like feeding the ducks. We'll just feed the bears. They're just, you know, bears. Just
bears.
Wild animals with the capacity to kill and maim. Thirst for blood.
Yes. Or pessimist wine.
One of the bears pulled her arm into the enclosure while the other, smelling blood, attacked. So there's mixed stories about this, but it kind of sounds like the people that came to help, like the attendants, they pulled her back, and that's why the arm got ripped off. Like if they had tried another technique, maybe in the cage trying to like release the jaws or something, she may not have lost the arm.
But like when you're
in a panic.
And there's polar bears. Like, what are you're gonna stick your hands in that polar bear mouth? And be mauled by polar bears? I mean, none of that makes sense. She's lost her arm, and it should have been prevented from the get-go.
It should have.
I mean, they probably pulled her arm off, and it was like a cheese grater.
Attendants immediately came running, you know, but they reacted by pulling her away from the cage, and so her arm remained inside. I kind of thought of Joe Exotic at this point.
Yeah.
I'm like, what would Joe do?
Yeah.
I feel
shoot him.
Well, maybe, or maybe he'd be in there wrestling. I don't know what he'd do, but I feel like
he'd shoot them.
He might shoot them.
He would shoot them and hide their carcass and then feed it to the other animals.
Or to staff.
Or to staff at the next luncheon potluck.
He didn't do that, but
he fed them old meat, though.
He fed them old meat, so it's kind of almost not really a stretch.
Yeah, no, Maybe. I think it happened.
Who knows? Hear this about little Elizabeth, though. She loved all the Manito Zoo animals so much that she insisted no harm come to the bears over this.
Aww.
So they weren't put down.
Aww. I mean, that's still scary, but aww. Because now they have a taste for blood.
So you're wondering, like, why did the zoo come to an end? Why can't we go today to the Manito Park Zoo?
I'm wondering it a lot less than I did a minute ago. But
there was this, you know, this violence, this brutality. There's some other things
death.
I didn't mention.
Wait, they didn't die.
Nobody died, but people have lost limbs.
As they do.
Oh, no, people died, but those baby coyotes died.
Oh yeah, that's right.
So there was
death. I mean, we talked about that big water slide. Like kid died, got decapitated on a water slide. So like a limb, it happens. It's a theme park.
It was a zoo.
I know, but I mean, you could lose a head at either.
It's in the entertainment realm.
Right.
So this wasn't the only thing that was like a problematic at the zoo. There was a smell. Because these animals were being fed bread and peanuts nonstop by visitors.
Do they have poopies?
And this left countless pounds of poopies behind. Countless. So residents
More
in
than
the
just their
area,
structured
you
food.
could smell like the poop. Also, there was the noise.
Oh yeah, I hear the lions roar at my dad's house all the time at dinner time.
So imagine like other animals too. Coyotes yipping, cougars screaming, monkeys howling.
Yeah, and again, it's not that big of an area overall.
No, it's not a big of an area. So if you live on either side of the
Near it.
park, you're going to be like in the mix. So, but it wasn't the noise, the smell, or fear that really was the end of it. It was the Great Depression. Because there was insufficient space, there was costly maintenance, it was the Great Depression, and the city just couldn't justify the cost. At that time, in the summer of 1932, do you know the Shade Brewery down? Yeah. So that was called the Jungle.
Ooh.
And it was a place where it was filled with unhoused, unemployed single men, because during the Depression, everybody lost their jobs, their livelihood. I mean, it was a depression financially, but also emotionally. Like, it was dark times. And with jobs and money so scarce, when our superintendent of parks, John Duncan, asked for almost $3,000 to feed the zoo's animals for the next year, people were like, no, we can't justify that cost.
Right.
Not in these times.
Not in these times.
By a 6-5 vote, the park board voted to close the zoo. Are you getting verklempt over there?
Yeah, a little toasty.
So,
do you say verklempt?
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 It's Yiddish.
New word.
Don't worry about it.
Don't look it up.
I mean, you can look it up, but
it's fine. I believe you.
It's like kind of caught up with emotion, like I had a lot going on.
Like, it was hot.
I know. I was translating temperature to emotion.
Like in this moment, I was so like verklempt that I had to do something about it.
Or that temperature was causing you to be
verklempt. Okay. All of that was so verklempt. I need to actually write that down so I remember that for later.
I'm going to use it in.
How do you spell VER? I want to.
K L.
Oh, it came up. VERKLEMT.
It's Yiddish.
Overcome with emotion.
Yeah.
I found myself getting a little verklempt just thinking about it.
Yeah.
Picture. Okay.
On October 13th, 1932, there was a letter from the secretary of the park board that was delivered to John Duncan, or park superintendent. Dear sir.
Or madam, or who it may concern.
We're just assuming John Duncan identified as a sir. Dear sir, at the adjourned regular meeting of the park board held this date, the park superintendent was instructed to dispose of the animals now at the Manito Park Zoo to the best advantage without cost to the city prior to January 1st, 1933. So we had a couple months to quote unquote dispose of the zoo animals.
Wow.
Nobody knows about this in Spokane.
Wow.
Isn't that cockamamie?
Yes.
I'm introducing a lot of words.
I know cockamamie, but I don't use it enough. So I'm also.
Are you looking that up too?
Cockamamie. Cockwomble popped up.
Pretty sure you know the first 4 letters.
Cockwomble mean? I want to press
I don't know. I've never heard of that word.
It's
derogatory. We better walk that back
to the Urban Dictionary.
A reputable source.
For a male, usually prone to making outrageously stupid statements or inappropriate behavior while having a very high opinion of their own wisdom and importance. Great. Okay. I forgot. It's okay. Keep going.
So John Duncan submitted an inventory of the animals to be abolished and noted that hunting rules prevented him from an easy path. So that was what he first thought about. Like, we'll let them loose, let them be hunted. But 3 buffaloes, 1 polar bear, and 1 emu had no open season for slaying them. John Duncan
So it's just like,
replied.
okay, these like loved animals. It'd be like
Domesticated, have
right.
probably few survival skills.
That'd be like if I'm like, I'm done taking care of my cats. I'm gonna release them and you may hunt them at your leisure.
It'd be like putting me in one of the survival shows, like
naked and afraid.
I'm not gonna last long out there in the
Naked and
wilderness.
afraid. You'd be sitting there like, nope.
Can you imagine?
I'm from California.
Where's my hot shower?
Can I have clothes, please?
Where is
My leaf.
my padded bed rest to lie upon?
Where's my boat? Because I
To
won't
protect
fly
my
out
body
here.
from these rocks.
Have you heard of Princess and the Pea?
That is me. I am the Princess and the Bee.
Hmm.
So also on the inventory were 5 elk, 1 fox, 3 raccoons, 5 bobcats, 2 cougars, 6 deer, 3 grizzly bears, 3 brown bears, 1 black bear, 2 coyotes, because the monkeys had murdered the others, 7 pigeons, 6 pheasants, 1 golden eagle, 2 crows,
Freudian slip.
1 owl, 1 hawk, and 78 ducks, 60 of it which were mallards.
Means male duck.
They got like the colors. Duncan tried to find new homes for all the animals. So he tried. He did. The Sandpoint Zoo, which I'm 100% sure doesn't exist anymore.
So what is they don't zoo. They have the wolf.
They do
place.
not. I don't think they zoo.
They do have a wolf like
hut on the side of the highway where you can buy wolf things.
well, they have like a wolf sanctuary. Like my friend lived out there.
I should go there sometime. That sounds like a great outing. Let's do it.
You hear them howl.
Sandpoint Zoo got Maggie the black bear. The brown bears went to the Tacoma Zoo, as did some of the pheasants. The eagle, the owl, and the pigeons, they all went to the Tacoma Zoo.
Thanks, Tacoma.
The deer were given to the Spokane County Game Commission and released near Blanchard, I don't know how you say that. Elk were released in Pondere County, but there were some that weren't lucky enough to find new homes. On January 8th, 1933, so we're almost to that deadline, the newspaper exclaimed, "A polar bear was shot within city limits. 2 grizzly bears were killed in the residential section of the South Hill. 3 buffalo bit the dust within 2 miles of the city's downtown business center." Another article described the sharp cracks of a .30-30 rifle, hastening the end to the beast as well as the zoo. It was also wrote, "Some Spokane residents still remember the trauma of hearing gunshots ring out from around the zoo, sealing the fate of those animals for which no homes had been found." So they killed them all. They killed all the animals in the zoo.
Well, and
they shot them.
And the community members are probably the only ones that went to that effing place, and they have to like hear and watch them get slaughtered. No, that's horrible.
It's so horrible. The strange tale of our zoo ended, but some continued on.
Oh.
Many of the animals were stuffed after death, and for years were stored over here at the museum down the street. At one point, the polar bear who tore off Elizabeth Harris's arm and who was named Zero was in that collection. And then a 1968 Spokesman Review article about a relatively small elk herd in northwestern Pondere County brought up another theory at the time. So there's a belief that this herd that existed at that time, I don't know if they still exist, but it was estimated in 1968 to be about 150 elk.
Wow.
That were started by the elk from the Manito Park
Because they
Zoo
were
that
so
released
horny.
up there.
Just horny elk.
They were so
Yeah.
horny.
And they made all the babies. Good for them. Good for them.
So they used to live up here in the Rose Garden of Manito Park.
Aw.
So there's some little happy news.
Yeah.
And here's where we're going to go for one of our little outings.
Ooh.
So apparently, behind the Park Bench Cafe, which used to be called the Peanut House,
Oh, I know where that is.
you could buy snacks to feed the animals.
Mm.
There is, in the basalt rocks, an old rusted hook embedded in the stones. And this is where the Manito Park bear keepers would tether the bears while their pens were being cleaned. We are going there.
We're going to check it out.
We're going to find this rusted hook. I mean, that is right up our alley.
No, that's
we
cool.
love searching
Some
for things like
rusted
rusty hooks.
We do. We enjoy it very much.
So that is my topic.
That's awesome.
Future stuff, old rusty hooks coming soon.
We're going to have some overlap.
I'm excited about overlap.
Me too.
Everything's connected.
I mean, yeah. Okay. So this
Wine is really good.
it is good. I know I'm
glad it does not taste like blood to me.
It's going away. I did have gum before I came in, so that might have messed with my palate.
It messed with your palate.
Yes. Mm-hmm. All right. My topic today is about an animal that we should be more scared of than we are.
Oh my God, we both talked about animals.
I know. So, what animals, just list off some that you feel like are revered. As humans.
Oh, well, I did the Freudian slip with eagle and ego.
Eagles, for
So
sure.
eagles.
Yeah.
King of the jungle, lion.
Lions.
Yeah. Cats.
Cats. Okay.
Dog.
Mhm.
Man's best friend or whatever.
Mhm, mhm.
Um,
I'm gonna make you keep going until you get it.
oh my God, snakes are considered wisdom
Mhm.
in some places. The dung beetle in Egypt is revered.
Right.
I mean, I don't know. What else is there? Those are all the animals.
No.
There's more?
Dolphins.
Oh, they're revered. They're considered to be intelligent.
I was about to say, I would say in more common, maybe not revered religiously, perhaps, but
They are
commonly like people praise them for their intelligence when they're in zoos or aquatic whatevers.
Aquatic whatevers.
This is the joy of going second after astounding a bottle of wine to ourselves. Okay, so I'm going to talk about why dolphins are
I want to hear more about
dangerous than sharks.
I don't know a lot about them.
I knew very little until my new fiance
them. I have to
told
say,
me.
I have held the dolphin on a pedestal.
I know, me too. And I heard a disturbing fact and I was like, that's not true. And then I looked it up and then I'm like, oh my God, there's so much more.
Topic. That's how I run across a lot of topics.
Right? I'm like,
random convo. I'm like, I'll look into that.
So I'm gonna re-angle myself so you see. You just came at me more. Okay. It's coming at me.
It's fine.
So they may always be smiling, but they're not always happy to see you. That's this tagline here. Okay, so dolphins have a pretty good reputation for people in terms of like, we think they're really intelligent, which they are. They're very intelligent. They also interact with humans on a pretty regular basis, even in the wild.
Yeah, I've heard those stories.
Right.
A dolphin coming alongside somebody in distress out in the ocean.
Right. I'm gonna like flip your understanding here. You're gonna like.
Are we misreading intentions?
Remember the otters?
Yeah. How can I forget?
Right. How cute otters are. Right. Okay.
How can I forget the otters?
If you haven't listened to the otter episode, you might want to do that before you go to the zoo next. Okay. So first of all, I mean, this is an obvious one, like the polar bear one. Dolphins bite. Shocker, right? They do that. They have actually very sharp teeth used to rip apart their prey. Bottlenose dolphins, for example, have 80 to 100 teeth they use to grip, secure their prey. However, they can and do bite humans on occasion. So because of this danger, officials at the Commerce Departments of National Marine Fisheries Service released flyers warning people that dozens of bites have been reported and that people have been pulled underwater by the animals. Mm-hmm. In fact, in 2012, an 8-year-old girl was infamously bitten by one of the animals at SeaWorld. So we know these things happen, and it hurts.
Are they fish?
They're mammals.
They're mammals. Okay.
Yeah, they are mammals. And they attack. So dolphins do more than just bite during an attack. So you think, okay, they may use their little teethers. However, they are also known for plowing into people with their snouts, which are very sturdy. Like they use that to fend off sharks by slamming their noses into them. And so they'll do that to people as a way to attack. And it's very powerful, very painful. And that is reported to happen. It's very fast.
They use their snout as a weapon.
Right. So the incident, there's one incident that left a woman with 6 spinal fractures, 3 broken ribs, and a damaged lung, as well as PTSD after the event. So she obviously doesn't want to go and do that again. And it made me think of like people who go and want to swim with dolphins. First of all, they're way faster than you. You're just catching up. Like you're not swimming with dolphins. But like it's actually like
I'm imagining me right now swimming with dolphins. Holding on to like the dorsal fin and just like going for a ride in the wind.
Like that's the noise a dolphin makes.
I would let go if it got too fast, which would probably be within 0.5 seconds.
That'd be terrifying. I can't like they drag you into deeper water where the sharks are.
Yeah. Oh. They're working in teams, aren't they?
But I read several stories. Cahoots.
The dolphins and sharks, I'm convinced.
I'm sorry, no. I read several articles. This is the wine talking now. Several articles about surfers who are out like on paddle boards and things like that, and on surfboards, and they're more worried about dolphins coming in because they'll jump over them, they'll sit and like knock and hit their boards. Where like sharks, from their reports, tend to stay away. Where dolphins get involved, and that can be dangerous just within itself.
It's kind of confusing because they both have that fin on top.
Right.
Like if I saw a fin coming in the water, I would immediately think shark.
Right.
Because I'm a worst case scenario person. Just my style.
Well, and I'm just going to go for the thing where they say like
punch it. They say punch it.
Well, and that's what the dolphins do with their nose.
So you'd be punching each other.
Wow. Okay. So they're always developing new ways to hunt and kill their prey. They are hungry and they become calculating predators, and they have unusual methods to trap their prey. So for instance, dolphins that live in shallow waters of Florida have been observed using their tails to kick up mud in circular formation in order to trap fish inside. Dolphins that live in Shark Bay in Australia have been seen using sponges as tools to dig up prey from the sea floor. So they're very smart, finding creative ways to hunt. What's more, dolphins are able to communicate these tactics with other dolphins. So they're always improving. So they can teach these skills to other dolphins, and they learn different tricks for eating different types of food.
Wow.
So that's like
they're adapting.
Right. The Smithsonian called it a cultural transmission. Yeah, right. It's good. They sometimes hunt in groups of 1,000 or more. 1,000.
What do they call a group of dolphins?
Group of dolphins.
It's not like, murder of crows.
It's pod.
It's a pod. That's a big ass pod.
It's a big ass pod. So
I would freak out, if I saw
1,000
dolphins heading towards me.
For food
I would think something was wrong. Like they have some information that I do not have.
Well, you've seen, oh man, now my brain's gonna blank. So Long and Thanks for all the fish. What am I thinking of? Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy.
Oh yeah.
So they typically stick to around 10 to 15 in a pod, but bottlenose dolphins can get up to thousands. So
this is our pod. Cast.
No one can see. Oh, this is our pod. You're our pod. You're our pod. Thanks for being here. They also frequently torture their food.
Oh, they play with their food.
Like, yeah. So octopuses have, they have deadly defenses to protect themselves. So dolphins beat up the octopus violently.
Those though.
Violently and relentlessly. They toss them up in order
tossing an octopus
to break them into smaller pieces.
Oh, hell no.
Before eating them.
No. I'm against that.
I don't think dolphins give a shit about what you're for.
I am against octopus abuse.
And they're known for just for fun tossing their food up in the air and catching it. Like it's just fun.
Cats get a bad rap,
right?
Domestic cats,
right?
For hunting without need for hunger,
right?
So maybe we need to ease up on cats a little bit.
Dolphins do it. We seem to love dolphins.
Don't orcas too?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Do some shady shit in the ocean.
And I saw these pictures of these women where at SeaWorld and stuff, the dolphin comes up and they can kiss the dolphin and there's a picture moment. So dolphins apparently also are ridden with STDs. So by the way, don't put your lips on a dolphin's lips or anywhere else.
Wait, why are they
have a lot? STDs? They just have a lot. They're dirty. They're dirty sexually and they carry a lot of diseases.
Oh.
Right. So caution. All right.
So does a dolphin really want to be kissing a human?
No, they're just doing it for the fish. They're smart and they're like, these people just give me the fish.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, okay. Sometimes they have some mysterious motivations. Maybe we don't fully understand it, but for murdering, but they are killing fellow mammals in tons of them, wielding their beaks as clubs. They call them beaks, and slashing away with sharp teeth, just for fun. They've been, and I found multiple articles on this about porpoises, they straight up don't like, and they fuck with them.
What's the difference between these different things?
A porpoise
and a bottlenose dolphin. Enlighten me.
Porpoise versus dolphin. I'm gonna make sure I give you, because I did not look this up prior. Dolphins tend to have prominent elongated beaks and a cone-shaped teeth, while porpoises have smaller mouths and spade-shaped teeth. So let's just show an image difference here. Okay, so here's a porpoise and a dolphin.
Whoa, a porpoise has no nose.
It's like a no nose. Porpoise, dolphin.
I've never seen a porpoise, I don't think.
I don't think I've seen a porpoise either.
What's the purpose of a porpoise? That was rhetorical. You don't have to answer that.
Podcast name.
Wait, Sarah, to take notes.
Okay, so
we're never gonna remember
they're both
that.
Mammals. This is we learn things too. They're both mammals. So porpoises actually have a triangular dorsal fin where dolphins are curved. Porpoises have a weird, creepy grin, and so do dolphins. Dolphins look like a porpoise, and porpoises look like a dolphin.
Thank you, whoever wrote that. That was super fucking helpful.
Dolphin says it isn't a porpoise, and porpoise isn't a dolphin.
Whoever wrote that, I hate you.
Thank you, Wrong Hands website.
You are everything that's wrong with information sources out there today.
So there you go. So apparently though, again, I saw tons of articles about they intentionally go out and just not just because this isn't their food source. They just mess with porpoises. So
is it jealousy?
Maybe we have long
is it nose dysmorphia?
Or our fin got bent somehow. I don't know.
You gotta own it. You gotta embrace your differences.
So they've been found to bludgeon porpoises to death by the hundreds.
What?
They bludgeon them to death by the hundreds.
With their long noses?
Yes. I know, doesn't it start to feel a little racist somehow?
It's horrible. I hate the whole thing.
Most animal killers eat their prey. Dolphins seem to have murderous urges unrelated to needing food.
Why do they hate the porpoises so much?
They really just do. That
they don't eat them.
They don't eat them.
They just kill them.
They bludgeon them
They're
to
a threat.
death. But not really.
But do you think female dolphins are attracted to porpoises? And maybe it's like a reproductive threat? Survival threat.
Okay, here's another deep dive because I didn't look into this part, but I'm gonna look into right now.
We answer the questions as they come.
Why dolphins hate porpoises?
Yeah, why do they? Maybe Urban Dictionary has an answer.
Okay, let's see here.
Or WikiHow.
Purpose of porpoises. Porpoising. You guys, the worst. That was University of Alaska. They just can't help themselves. Why dolphins kill?
I want to know.
It's
what is behind this?
Okay. Oh my gosh, there's a video. We are not playing it. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Is it violent and deadly?
Well, here's just a picture. I'm not playing the video. Get out of here. But it says a bottlenose dolphin has been pictured flipping a porpoise into the air.
Tossing it like a rag doll.
Horrifying. So dolphin attacks
graphic.
on porpoises account for about 1 death a year on average. It's unclear why dolphins attack porpoises, but it could be an aggressive response to feeding competition or even misdirected sexual aggression.
See ya.
Well, it could be the males. Maybe the males are attracted to the female porpoise, but those porpoise are like, not today. And then they get thrown in the air and beaten to death.
Oh,
wow.
That is very
That does
misdirected.
remind me of the otters. They were very sexually aggressive.
Those otters gotta
So
manage that shit.
many theories have been put forward, including misdirected infanticide, because bottlenose dolphins will kill calves, misdirected sexual aggression. Mm-hmm. Well, basically thinking that they're smaller. So there may be a baby and they are known to kill. That was going to be my other section, that they will kill like otters. So some say that the feed competition might be something play behavior that's just super aggressive.
I have never seen a porpoise.
Was that your first time?
That was my first time.
I feel like you're like admitting something very
No, I'm still
personal.
working through it. I'm still working through it.
It wasn't on purpose.
Have you seen a porpoise?
Not in real
It was just
I just love
on accidental sighting.
I love how punny people are. It's so good.
I love puns.
So going back on a related note, they are known for killing babies of other dolphins. So in 2002, there's a study published in Journal of Wildlife Diseases that 9 bottlenose dolphin calves were found in Virginia that had died of severe blunt force trauma. The young animals had suffered multiple rib fractures, lung lacerations, and soft tissue contusions, and one had a bite wound across the left mandible and deep punctures with tooth placements of an adult bottlenose dolphin.
Is that them kissing?
That's them mating, but
they mate? They hate and mate?
They hate and mate and kill the babies. Yeah. So
some parallels with
dolphins also
people.
go after their own kind. In 1992, the National Academy of Sciences published a study that found that when male dolphins want to mate, they not only chase females, but they get very violent and physically aggressive, which includes hitting them with their tail, head jerks, charging at them, biting, or slamming their body into the female. So,
wow, dolphins.
Like, it's a little like rein it in.
Yeah, let's just slow down.
Like, I wonder how mature these
get to know
dolphins
each
are.
other.
And they're a lot bigger than you probably thought.
How big are
How
they?
big do you think they are?
I don't know, like 8 feet long.
10 to 14 feet.
Oh, that's long. 14
And-
feet. I don't want to encounter a 14 footer.
No, and around 1,100 pounds.
That's big.
That's a car. Is it a small car?
Maybe
I
like,
said it and I felt like I needed
maybe
to.
like one of those smart cars.
I still don't want to be hit by a smart car in the face.
No, nobody wants to be hit by anything in the face.
That's true.
TBH.
Okay, and they're also dangerously fast. So you can't outswim it, first of all. They're very streamlined. They glide through the water. They go up to 22.4 miles per hour. Our Olympic swimmer, Michael Phelps, top speed is 6 miles per hour. So, keep in mind.
And he has an impressive wingspan.
Yes. Dolphins can fly. I mean, sort of. They can jump really far out of the water. They can launch themselves out of the water up to 16 feet in the air.
That's far.
That is far. As far as I can jump.
That's probably why they recruit them for SeaWorld.
So this has led to scary situations where they've jumped and have actually landed on boats and 1,100 pound.
I bet they're not happy about that though, because they're expecting to land in the water.
Maybe
like that would hurt.
Maybe again, these articles I read, they're playing with people and toying with them.
It kind of reminds me when I talked about the hippos that they would try to jump on the boats and how freaking terrifying that was.
I wouldn't want hippos are scary.
Hippos scary. Yeah.
Dolphins to me for sure.
Never seen a hippo in the wild. I have seen dolphins in the wild.
Me too. Dolphins can free dive 820 feet. The deepest world record, no limit free dive by a human was 702 feet. So they're actually able to meet the standards of what the Navy would require.
I think we need to collaborate with the dolphins.
Maybe if they weren't just having violent sex all the time.
We need to
murdering constantly.
Give them some penicillin. Let's clear up those STDs.
Well, and so they're known for, again, pulling people underwater and having some sexual aggression on people too.
You got to have a tight ass wetsuit going on.
Yeah. I mean, that's probably what brought them in the first place, that tight ass wetsuit. They also have toxic friends. I thought this was interesting. So they're not always sober. They've been known.
Wait, what?
Right. Okay. So
are they partaking?
Bottlenose dolphins play with toxic pufferfish. They play with them that secrete a neurotoxin that in high doses can kill, but it has a narcotic effect.
They're fucking microdosing.
And they toss it around to each other.
They're microdosing.
It's like that 70s show with dolphins.
Wow.
So they said there was footage of this. Dolphins were filmed gently playing with the pufferfish, passing it around to each other for 20 to 30 minutes at a time.
Oh my God, you're playing puff and pass.
And unlike the fish they had caught as prey, which was swiftly torn apart, they were seen floating.
Sorry.
So the dolphins were then seen floating just underneath the water surface, apparently mesmerized by their own reflection under the water. High AF.
Relatable. Hashtag.
Okay, so they also know when they're taunting us. So they know, they'll again specifically taunt and play with people, and they leave when they get bored. That's what they do. Okay. Yeah, there's that lady kissing that dolphin. Now it's just gross to me. Do you see the tongue licking her face? STDs, don't do it.
That's a lot.
And yes, we do know that there was in 1994, there's a case in which 2 men in Brazil were rammed by a dolphin. 1 man did pass away due to internal injuries. And if you're still in the mood for more, you can always, there's a lot of, I think, with the whales and things like that, trying to move away from SeaWorld type scenarios.
Yeah.
But they when I went to Hawaii, that's everywhere. Swim with the dolphins. I don't think I would do that now.
No, I mean, I think with the SeaWorlds, the problem I have is making an animal perform for my entertainment seems problematic.
I make my cats do dancing bear for their treats. I stand up on their hind legs and they do this, and I give them a little yum yums. I do that.
Yeah. I mean, it's not shut and dry at this whole thing.
There's
no easy answers.
That's totally for my entertainment. No one's there watching but me.
There's no easy answers. My cats don't do anything. They just eat.
Sometimes attack you.
And sometimes attack me and lay around.
That's true.
I feel like I got to train them up, although I'm not getting my fair due.
No, just check their sexual aggression. Keep it.
Oh, there's none of that coming.
No. Well, I mean, we neuter the
Yeah.
sexual aggression out.
Yeah, mine are neutered out. And one spay.
Yes. So anyways, there you go. Dolphins.
All right. If you didn't listen to our last podcast, we reviewed the 1990 Flatliners film, which I thought was surprisingly still held up.
Yeah, it was okay.
Yeah.
Would I watch it again? Probably not, but I'd watch that one.
I mean, twice as good, once in 1990 and once now.
So you can listen
to our thing. And please support us on Patreon. Like, it provides us with wine money and gas money.
Look at me sloppy messing all over the place. We need your help.
We need your help. Thank you. Until next time. Wait.
Oh, shoot. Wait. Now I have to remember.
Remember what?
Until next time. You go first. Until next time.
Use caution when feeding the bears.
And if you become a little verklempt.
You have to look that up.
I forgot already.
Oh
if you become a little verklempt, just release your sexual aggression.
You already forgot that. Did you save that word in your phone somehow?
I took a screenshot.
God. Oh, we totally forgot to do this again.
Wait, we're not here. Go ahead.
Oh, we're still on.
We're still here.
Okay, what's yours?
For your topic?
Oh, my topic. No, yeah, I went first. I guess right mine.
I'm gonna go with the 3. That is it for me.
A girl got her arm ripped off, and then they killed all the zoo animals.
No, for mine.
Oh.
You see the level?
I walked that reaction back. That was a little intense.
That was a much. I'm giving it a 3 for my topic because it is natural. It is. So I think we're putting a lot of human labels and terms around animal natural behavior. It's not rape in the natural kingdom. 100% that. So that's why I say 3. Will I swim with dolphins? Probably not. Maybe that'll take me to a 4. If I was actually in the water with them, I think that would take me to a solid 8 now that I've equated them with sharks, but sharks are definitely 10 all day, every day. Your turn. Oh, your topic. Let me see. Where on my topic you go?
I think your topic, I'm a 5.
I was way more weirded out by the otters. I felt like it was way maybe that's some stigma because they're more weasel-like than the dolphin, perhaps.
I was shocked that I've never seen a porpoise.
Oh, yeah.
Why are dolphins being subjected to commercialization, entertainment to humans, and porpoises aren't? Is it because they don't have the nose?
They're not as appealing and cute.
Are we stigmatizing porpoises because they don't have a long beak, did you say?
A beak.
A long beak. Okay.
Your topic. Because this is locale, I'm going to say I'm at a 7 because if this happened in my neighborhood and I just woke up to gun shooting and I found out that they were trying to shoot these animals from the
cattails is closed.
I'd be down there protesting and I'd probably be eaten by the polar bear, but that would piss me off.
I'm agreeing, a 7, because it was just very intense reaction to something that was outside the animal's control, and really the people are to blame in this sitch.
Where would you put the rating? You tell us on our social medias. We would love to hear it. If you say a 0 that sucks, give me a break. There's ranges. That's why it's a small.